right, I'd like to talk about a company's ecosystem. I think intuitively we all know what our ecosystem is. It's the environment and everything that we kind of work, live, and play in. A company's ecosystem, especially with regards to an agile transformation, is a pretty key element. A lot of times when people ask people to come in and do agile transitions or coaching or things like that, we oftentimes focus on the delivery teams. And while that's very important, ultimately you hear things like that's a local optimization. That the teams are getting better, we see improvements and things like that. Eventually, people start to hit these weird barriers, these glass ceilings, or something like that. And it's because we've not taken the company's whole ecosystem into account. And the funny thing about the ecosystem is there's not a same pattern you can always follow to say what is going to be the next roadblock. That's why I think things like roadmaps or timelines as part of an agile transition tend to be kind of a false concept. But being aware of your context helps provide a more holistic solution during an agile transformation. So what I mean by that is, as maybe we're brought in, we're working with some delivery teams, we're blending things together, we're getting folks better, we're getting higher quality, we're responding to change, we're getting more product out the door. You tend to start hitting other areas of the organization. Some of the more unexpected places were HR, for example. So after we helped coach training, or give people skills on what they were learning, HR realized that they didn't know how to hire for the skills that we were teaching their people how to do. They also realized that we were training, but they didn't know how to train, and they didn't want to continue to be codependent on our training. And those are all fair things. So then we had to kind of pivot and figure out how to help the HR department kind of tackle that as well. Other places that come up was sales. So if we had teams or a program of people that were on a cadence of delivering software every 6 or 8 or 9 months, and all of a sudden we're shortening that back to every 3 to 1 month, we're actually getting working valuable software that they can ship to their customer out the door. We were at a place where the sales department started kind of freaking out. They didn't know what they were supposed to do and how are they going to do sales training and how are the salespeople going to know what new features were in their product. You also see other more impactful places like finance. A lot of times when you come into a place and they're following, say, a traditional project funding model, and then you try to pitch things like whole teams or stable teams, they don't know how to make that work with their current finance and auditing practices. So we're looking at finance, we're looking at sales, we're looking at HR, we're looking at operations, we're looking at marketing, we're looking at support, we're looking at documentation. All of the things that it truly takes to make a business function and take your software from idea all the way through adding value holistically to your end users and to your internal stakeholders. And I guess that's what we mean when we take a look at the company ecosystem.